Hey, what's up, guys? So, over the last few years, I've really started to study younger softball players' swings that play or practice around my area in the off season, and I've been noticing the same thing year after year after year. And what it is these younger softball players from the high school level and below really lack the mechanics that I see when I watch the better college softball players in the country, or the girls on the USA team, or just any college softball player that I see on TV from some of the major conferences and colleges around the country. And I know you're probably going to say, well, the All Americans and the college softball players from these top universities are more gifted and they're older and they're more talented and more athletic and they're bigger and they're stronger and blah blah blah, the list goes on. But the difference in swing mechanics that I see isn't because of a lack of talent or athleticism or age or size, but I think it's more of just a lack of understanding of what they're trying to do. So I've given lessons to softball players over the years, and obviously I've done way more baseball lessons, but I have done a few softball, and most of them think I'm crazy when I start talking about aspects of the swing. And it's because they've basically been brainwashed since they were little to swing a certain way, to swing the softball way, the way that their coaches in this area, or the younger coaches and the little league level and on up, teach that way. Now, obviously, there are exceptions, but almost every single young softball player I see hits the same way. So, just a few of the things I see, and I see this in almost every softball girl that I watch, the younger ones. And many of them, they lack any type of rhythm. So, most of their movements are really mechanical. Their swing is in parts or in steps with a lot of stops and starts. Instead of letting one movement build upon another as they create something to hit with, some energy to hit with. Many of them, almost all of them, have no strides. Most of them, they just pick up their heel and they put it right back down. And they have zero linear movement or movement towards the pitcher. So they don't have much to hit with. They're more of just a pick up their heel, put it down, and spin. And because of this, most of them aren't able to properly transfer their weight, so they just spin like a top in a circle. They lack any separation. Most of them don't get their hands back anywhere close to far enough, so they're basically pushing their hands. They don't have anything to hit with. It's just a push at the ball, and because of this, they're not letting their bottom half work to create any torque. They're not allowing their bat head to be the last thing that comes through the zone instead of the first thing when they push their hands. Most of them don't rotate properly. And probably the biggest thing that I notice is that almost all of them swing down. Their swing plane is from high to low. So they get their hands really, really high and they swing straight down. And it causes their bat to be in and out of the zone really, really quickly. And I see a ton of smothered ground balls. So when I give a softball lesson, most of the girls that I see for the first time, I'd say 80% of the balls they hit are smothered right into the ground. They hit the ground probably 3 feet out in front of the plate. Or it's a missed pop-up straight up in the air because they're swinging at such a steep angle that they just clip the bottom of the ball and the ball goes straight up. Now, every now and then, I'll be at a facility and I'll see a girl that really stands out. Or I'll be somewhere, I'll be at a game or in a facility and someone will say, oh, that girl right there got a scholarship to a big-time university to play college softball, or that girl right there is one of the best players in the state. And when I watch her swing, I see a lot of things that I teach baseball players. I'll see a swing that looks more like the swing I see when I watch college softball players or Team USA. I'll see a girl that has rhythm, that knows how to move off their backside to create something to hit with, that create separation by getting their hands back and stretching the elastic band that we talk about, or they let their bottom half work properly and they don't push the bat through the zone, but they create lag in their swing. So they get their bat on plane with the pitch early, which allows them to stay inside the ball and stay behind the ball better. So their swing looks a lot different. Actually, it doesn't look a lot different. It is a lot different. But people will still say, well, she's just really good, or she just has great hand-eye coordination. That's why she hits so well. Or she's just been playing travel softball for a bunch of years, so that's why she's so good. But the biggest difference is that her swing is different. She isn't doing the things that I see 95% of younger softball players doing that causes them to be inconsistent, which causes them to struggle, which causes them to lose their confidence, which causes them to stop progressing, which causes them to eventually stop playing softball because she's not good enough anymore. But the crazy part about all this is when I explain some of these things to parents or to players, they'll say, well, that's just not how a softball player swings. And my goal is to show you that maybe that's not how a lot of your friends swing, or a lot of your teammates growing up swing, or how your high school teammates swing, but that is how the college All-Americans swing and the national players swing that I watch on the USA team, and the girls that are getting college scholarships, that's how they swing. So I think there's a disconnect between what parents and players at younger levels think the softball swing is supposed to be, and then what it actually is by the girls that are really successful around the country and when I'm watching them on TV and when I'm watching the USA team. And I want to show you a couple of those things. So let's compare a softball All-American to Joe Mauer of the Minnesota Twins and see how similar they look to each other. So first I'll roll through here so you can take a look. So if we watch her, the first thing we see is she moves. She drives off her backside. She makes a positive move to help her gain some energy to hit with. And you can see both players doing it together here. As she moves, she's creating separation. She has length in her lead arm, just like Mauer. She keeps her hands back. She doesn't let them travel. She doesn't keep her hands really high or really close to her ear like I see a lot of younger softball players doing. She has rhythm. The stride isn't its own part of the swing. She doesn't stop and kill her momentum. There's a sequence of movements that flow from one to the other. She transfers her weight from her backside to her front side. So she isn't just spinning, but she is instead rotating and turning properly. Her bat gets on plane early. You can see as her elbow drops in, she's not pushing the bat. This creates torque and lag. She stays on plane with the pitch a really long time, just like Mauer. This increases her chances to make solid contact, even if she is fooled by the speed of the pitch. She's able to stay through the ball better. She's able to stay inside the ball better. Everything she does looks almost exactly like Mauer. They basically have the same swing. And Joe Mauer's a lot bigger. He's a lot stronger. He's a lot older. But I can put hundreds of big-time college softball players on here, and they'll all have their own styles, but the core principles of the swing are going to be the same. So hopefully you guys kind of see what I'm talking about. If you have any questions, let me know. You can put it in the comment section below, or you can email me at touchemallball@gmail.com, and we can discuss more things then. So hope this helped you out, and take care.